Hello and welcome back to my channel. Let's get straight into this. This is all about my search for financial freedom and what I'm doing about it. So firstly, talking about the finance side. So one thing I realise is I need to get serious on my money. And I know that's kind of obvious in many ways, but it's really about making sure that I have everything documented in the right place, to make sure that I'm on top of everything so that I'm actually more aware of things. I've mentioned in previous weeks that I've been doing the Rebel Finance School, which is a free course. I have no affiliation with them, so check it out online, Rebel Finance School. And yes, I have a background in finance, but I have blind spots as well. And one of the things I realise I have a blind spot in is just basically having a proper understanding or awareness of lots of different parts of my finances. So for example, I have a mortgage, or in fact, two mortgages, investment properties, but I didn't really know the interest rate I was paying on them, which, I mean, maybe some people would say that's a minor issue, but the reality is awareness you become better at things once you become more aware. So I've become more aware of the rates I'm paying on them and the rates I'm getting on savings. So simple things like that help to improve the financial picture. So yeah, so that's the one thing I guess I've done in the last week. I guess on top of, again, listening to more of this training course, which, yeah, it's very useful to kind of properly get on top of things. Now, the other thing towards financial freedom, or one of the other things, is all about side hustles. So I feel the need. I've always had an interest in side hustles, as I've said in previous videos, and I think I'm going to be far more focused and committed to this. And I've said this in different times in different ways, but I've listened to a few videos over the last, or watched a few videos over the last week, where young guys have been going up to people in the street saying, how did you make your first million? Now, I don't know about whether I'm going to ever make a million, but I do know that that is something I have an interest in, i.e. taking control of my destiny. So maybe it won't be millions, maybe it won't be hundreds of thousands, but the need to frame a business idea is very, very important now. So I have time on my hand, another few weeks before my family get back, or a week and a half really. I need to properly nail down my systems, my processes, my actual focus. And my real focus is really going to be about using the skills I already have. As I've said in previous videos, I've trained as a career coach, I've trained as a resume writer, I have a background in finance, wealth management, and my focal point really is going to be the Generation X. So those who are older than millennials, younger than baby boomers, almost like a lost space, because a lot of the focus isn't really on them. But the reality is, I know many people in this space who aren't working, don't really know how to, or what the next step is, because ultimately they're too old to hire, too young to retire. In many cases, that is the space they're in. Too old to hire, too young to retire. So that's my target market. Yeah, so I've said it on video. Hopefully this means I commit to it. And that's really what I need to focus on. Now, the other part of this financial freedom, independence dynamic for this video is health. This last week, just stretching a bit. I've stretched a bit more. I've been to the gym, eating, but one of the key dynamics of the last week is I did a short trip. Okay, well, it was a long weekend to Melbourne, Australia. Now, I live in Hong Kong, And for anyone who doesn't have the context, it's 9 hours flight. It's a long way. Arrived on the Friday morning, flew out on the Monday morning. I know it sounds crazy, but it was on many levels very life affirming. So one thing is I went to go and see some rugby. For those of you who know about rugby, British and Irish Lions tour every 4 years, and they were in Australia, and so I went to watch a match. That might not mean anything to anybody, but that's fine. But I also managed to catch up with, firstly, my best mate, who lives in Melbourne, and his family. I haven't been to see his family for about 11 years. And I've seen him a few times since, but 11 years is quite a long time, particularly as his kids have now grown up. But also there was a group of guys who I played rugby with many years ago at school, and a bit after, I think. And they managed to get out to Melbourne from the UK and different parts of the world to get together to watch this match. That to me was so life affirming, because connection is very important. I realise more and more now. I mean, having money is great, but what's the use of having money if there's no higher purpose? no kind of bigger reason for it, I think, is my way. So, my way of looking at it. So I really enjoyed my very brief time connecting with people I haven't seen for 25, 30 years in some cases. It was life affirming. It was important in terms of, I guess, what makes me tick, connection with people. And in a roundabout way, it kind of makes me think that my financial freedom side hustle about helping people in their midlife period is even more relevant, because, you know, everybody has their challenges. Some are far more open about it. Some people are far more quiet, if you will. And I think, you know, talking to some of these guys, they've all gone down different paths in lives, you know, their lives, divorce, or in the case of one of the guys, multi-millionaire, another guy doing social work, different paths. Some of them have had struggles, some of them haven't. But I want to kind of help a age cohort who, again, are often in need of help, but aren't necessarily reaching out for help. So this has kind of been a very interesting week. Have I made lots of money in the last week? Nah, this hasn't been about that. I haven't worked on my business in any great shape or form, and hopefully next week when I do this video, I will be able to give a better framework for how I want to look at this business. On top of that, I hope to be a bit fitter. I mean, again, I keep stretching. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but this has been a great week, even though money was not the focal point. In fact, especially because money was not the focal point. So that's it for me. So like and subscribe, follow my journey. I'm just learning as I go along. I need to get used to failing. I need to keep trying and failing. And yeah, that's really it for me. Otherwise, I'm just going to waffle on. If you have any ideas on how I can improve my finances or my side hustle or my health, feel free to comment down below. Again, I've got all these ideas that need to come together. Otherwise, they're just ideas that float in the sky. But fundamentally, I'm still anchored to this idea that people are too old to hire, too young to retire, and that's really where I want to target. Anyway, that's it for me, and bye for now.